For over a decade, the Shalom Foundation has built a relationship with the people of Guatemala, giving them hope for a better life. Shalom has built houses for families living in poverty, offered an education to hundreds of children, and paid for food programs so children begin their days with a balanced diet. In recent years, through medical missions, the Shalom Foundation has provided professional medical care to Guatemalans who are suffering. And today, through your financial help, the Shalom Foundation is realizing a dream to be able to help hundreds of Guatemalans on an ongoing basis through the Moore Pediatric Surgery Center, a modern facility dedicated to charitable care. I'm Jennifer Nettles from Sugar Land, and I've traveled with Shalom to Guatemala, where half the population is under the age of 15, and a majority of them live in abject poverty. I was brought to tears when I saw the living conditions of many in this poor Central American country. I was introduced to more of the needs of the Guatemalan people by the Shalom Foundation chairman and founder, Steve Moore.
I love coming here, particularly engaging with the families and the kids, because they are so content with absolutely having none of the trappings that we have in America. They're very loving people.
The Shalom Church started the Shalom School to meet the educational needs of children of all ages and currently supports hundreds of children at more Guatemalan schools.
God placed us in this community to help people. The Shalom School provides children with an education and also prevents them from getting into gangs. After graduation, it helps them get a job.
Shalom offers school children a good start to each day with a filling meal.
They'll get a pancake with a little drink or juice. Sometimes they'll get a ham and cheese sandwich. And that may be the only meal they get that day.
The Shalom Foundation has built fully funded homes for dozens of families in need.
We saw this need and said, we've got to help them have some reasonable place to live.
I'm getting a house, and my wife, she is happy, really happy.
We eventually created a four-legged table with housing, education, nutrition, and then this last phase is medical.
The hard-working physicians and nurses of Guatemala are very good. There's just not enough of them, and there's not enough money to take care of all the impoverished people.
Not even the national budget of Guatemala can be enough to cover all the needs for Guatemalans.
Imagine living in a country where surgical care is out of reach for disadvantaged children. Meet Anna, a now vibrant 14-year-old girl who at 6 was shot in the leg by a Guatemalan gangster's stray bullet while walking to buy tortillas for her family.
The doctor told my mom that he couldn't do anything for me, that he couldn't remove the bullet.
We brought Anna to the States through the generosity of a lot of great doctors and support people. The bullet was extracted.
I will always be grateful for what you have done for me.
This is Samuel. He was born with a large hole in his heart. Guatemalan doctors gave Samuel's mother a grim prognosis.
The doctor said the hole could keep growing and growing until he had a heart attack and he would probably die.
We were able to help with some funding, and they actually did that operation in Guatemala.
The only thing I can say is thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Jocelyn was born with a life-threatening growth covering her neck and shoulder. Guatemalan doctors deemed surgical removal too risky. On top of that, Jocelyn's family couldn't afford the operation.
In addition to her not being able to turn her head, the deformity was also affecting her socialization skills. I think at that point the family felt their only option was to be brought to the United States.
Thanks to the Shalom Foundation and the Vanderbilt Children's Hospital, Jocelyn was accepted to have a surgery there for free. I know that God will reward you for what you have done.
In March of 2011, we realized our dream come true. We purchased an existing building in Guatemala with the idea that we would renovate the building to accommodate teams from the United States, children's hospitals, to do minor surgical procedures.
They are going to provide with surgeries for kids that have difficult problems and that sometimes they cannot get their problems fixed in the Guatemalan medical system.
By sending a team to Guatemala instead of one child, we may be able to take care of 70 children. So there's a huge financial impact on what we can actually do.
The doctors and administrators of the Vanderbilt Children's Hospital and fine medical programs from across the country have helped design and partner with the Shalom Foundation to make this medical center a professional operation. A place where doctors from America can work side by side with local medical professionals to provide quality care for these children.
We've gotten our new staff started. We have pediatricians, nurses coming together to work with us, and it's just amazing.
We didn't have an elevator, now we have an elevator with a capacity of 2,500 pounds.
It's amazing how good the equipment is, the electric installations, the gas. I mean, it's a big effort.
It was extremely emotional for me to see what had occurred because the facility had been transformed into this unbelievably beautiful pediatric center.
I think one of the moments that has really touched my life is just walking yesterday, the first day that the surgery center was going to be open to the public. We walked in, the reception was packed.
Before its construction, this building was not functional at all as a hospital. It had been run down, and through the donations of so many kind and generous people, this building was renovated and turned into a completely functional hospital surgery center.
Such good work.
I think the biggest impact of this clinic has been that we are giving top-of-the-line care for the most needed ones that are usually mistreated or even not have the opportunity to be cared for, and we're doing it with all of our love for them.
The economics of this surgery center are challenging, but they're not overwhelming. If you give 10 cents or 10,000 or 100,000, it's deployed right here.
Join me in partnering with the Shalom Foundation to continue the amazing work being done for the children and families of Guatemala. Together, we can help make these young Guatemalan lives healthier and more hopeful. Gracias por su apoyo. Thanks for your support.